All right, so Kanye West on last night defending his support of President Trump. He was on Jimmy Kimmel's show. And, you know, we have a booming economy, which you talk about here every day, lower black unemployment, which the president talks about a lot, steady economic growth. And Kanye West is a fan of President Trump and now is no longer afraid to say it, right? Let's bring in Conservative Review TV host Deneen Borelli and also the radio host Ben Kissel to talk a little bit about this. I'll get opening thoughts from both of you. And then I think there are some kind of broader questions, kind of interesting politically that we can talk about. But Deneen, you first on your thoughts on what Kanye had to say last night.
Well, I say to Kanye West, welcome to my world of being intimidated, harassed, and bullied by the liberal mob that is intolerant and despises independent thought. I've been doing this for a number of years, Colin. So let me tell you, years ago, there weren't that many black conservatives that were vocal or open with their views. Now there are more and more people who are coming forward talking about where they stand politically. Right. But with Kanye West, he has a lot of juice. He has a lot of followers. And he is the liberals, the Democrats, the progressives, whatever they call themselves today. He is their worst nightmare because they don't want that message resonating to black voters.
Liberals, he says, can't bully me. You know, Ben, your thoughts on what did you take away from what Kanye had to say? Or
yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. I think I can't obviously speak for Kanye West, but I can speak as someone who voted for Barack Obama twice. I think there was a lot of regret about his presidency. A very fragile legacy. The only thing that he really got done was Obamacare, which has since been dismantled. The Democrats lost 1,000 seats across the country under his 8-year, or 2 terms, 8 years.
So you think that's what led to this?
I think 2016 was kind of a referendum on Barack Obama, and that's why when Trump was like, what do you have to lose, this really broad, vague message, it resonated with some folks because they were disappointed with what happened with Barack Obama. Well, and then, of course, we also have to remember Hillary Clinton, super predators, the criminal justice bill that she passed in didn't pass herself, obviously, but advocated for in 1994, devastated the African-American community. So it's a very complex thing.
It is interesting because Kanye West wouldn't be known as kind of some noted conservative all the time when he's talked about politics. Even remember years ago, he was very critical of President Bush at the time and said he didn't, I believe this, and Jimmy Kimmel asked him about this. He didn't answer it last night. He said he didn't care about black people, I believe was that quote years ago from Kanye West. But what I said earlier, Deneen, I thought it brings up bigger questions kind of long term, is that when we get into the midterms and then we get into the re-election campaign in 2020, are there more people out there of the mindset of a Kanye West who would be coming around to, maybe we're inclined to support the president, we're afraid to talk about it, or the opposite? Is the president maybe losing some people in the middle, as suburban voters have been brought up, where they're going to the other side? I mean, and again, that'll be what decides this, right? But where do you think, which of those two do you think is more likely, Deneen?
Yeah, I say look at the data. Look at unemployment, record low unemployment among black voters, the rollback in taxes and regulations where anyone, no matter who you support politically, if you are a beneficiary of a bonus, of higher wages, of a job, people are taking notice. And don't forget, Democrats want to kill the tax cuts if they take control of the House. Well, so yeah, we need to keep that in mind with the policies that are helping all Americans in our country.
Pocketbooks, right? Well, go ahead, Ben.
But let's not forget the tax cuts are permanent for the wealthy and not for the middle class. And at some point, the middle class tax, they will go up. When it comes to Donald Trump, let's also not forget he is very divisive. This is the anniversary of Charlottesville. Right. And this is, of course, a president who defended, so there's good people on both sides. One of those sides contained neo-Nazis. He also just recently picked up his attacks on NFL players kneeling during the anthem to protest police brutality. So I understand the frustration.
Well, it's going to be the debate, right? Like, do people vote their pocketbook? I mean, Deneen's arguing that, some people may acknowledge that and still vote because their life situation is better. Their unemployment rate has improved. Their economic situation, but they would be maybe ignoring some of these issues that Ben has brought up, or judging them not to be as important.
I'm sorry, was that to me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that you'd have to ignore some issues. So Ben has brought up stories that have been out there that are legitimate stories for the president. You'd have to ignore some of those issues if you were going to focus on economics. To me, that's going to be the question. Do people do that?
Yeah, the thing is, the last election, the presidential election, was about jobs and the economy. President Trump is delivering. He is delivering for the forgotten men and women. Look at manufacturing. Look at wages are going up. More jobs in our country than there are people to fill them. So he is winning on his policies, and Americans are taking note. And identity politics from the left does not provide jobs and does not put food on Americans' tables.
Interesting, real quick.
The Republican Party also plays identity politics. And to that point, we do have jobs that need to be filled, which is why we need to have a path to citizenship for undocumented workers.
Different subject, but we'll get it. We always get into those. Ben got it in at the end, but it was interesting to see what Kanye West had to say last night and his logic from getting to where he was to where he is and what he went through. So anyway, thanks to both of you.